Hello artists, it's me again, Miss Dunn, and I am so excited to create with you today. Today we're going to be making a one-point perspective project. One-point perspective means that we're going to show how things get smaller as they go back into space. They use what's called a vanishing point, which is a really tiny dot that all of our lines will go to. What's really cool about one-point perspective is that we're taking a flat piece of paper and we're going to make something look 3D. So let's get started.
Your one-point perspective can be a letter, or you can write a word. It's up to you. You will need a paper, a pencil and a ruler, and a Sharpie or some type of marker is optional. First, you're going to lightly sketch out your letter. So if you want to do one letter, you can draw it nice and big, or if you're going to write a word or maybe your name, go ahead and write that super lightly on your paper. Next, you're going to trace around your letter or your word, and don't forget to trace the inside of the letter if there's a space inside. This trick works for any letter of the alphabet, so go ahead and write any letter super lightly, trace around it, and if the letter has negative space on the inside, you want to trace that too. Once you're finished your letter, you want to go ahead and erase the original letter that you drew, so just the block letter is showing. Next, you're going to create your vanishing point by drawing a very small dot. So if you're doing a giant letter, you can make it off to the side or below it, depending on where you have more room. Make sure you hold your pencil super light when you draw your lines, so you can erase them if you need. You're going to line up the point of the letter that's closest to your vanishing point and the dot, and draw a line. Repeat this process by moving the ruler to the next point, lining up with your vanishing point, and drawing the line across. I picked an E on purpose since it had a lot of lines, but I'm going to show you some other letters too that have curves instead of points. Make sure you're following along with only the points that are closest to your vanishing point dot. The edges or points of the letter that are far away from the vanishing point you're not going to do, because you'd have to go through your letter to make the point, so don't worry about those. If your vanishing point is below your letters, you're going to concentrate on the bottom of your letters. If there's one that's hanging out to the side like the R or the T, don't forget to do that part too. If your letter is curved, don't worry, you're just going to follow the edge of that letter. So line up with the edge to your vanishing point and draw the line, the same way you would do if your letter was a point. I'm going to show you how you can make your letter look 3D without having the vanishing point lines. So what you're going to be doing is tracing the same line that you see on the side through the lines that you made for your vanishing point. So you have to watch each one and what angle it goes, and copy that part of the letter again, just out a little bit further. If your letter is curved, you would just follow the curves. After you're finished tracing, you would go ahead and erase your vanishing point and all those extra lines. Or you could just leave the vanishing point lines, because that looks really cool too. Now we're going to stylize your letter or your words with color. So get your colors out and let's get started. If you want, you can trace your letter to give it a nice bold look and add a pattern or some type of details inside of things you like. Or you can just color in your letter. Markers look great, color pencils, crayons too. It's really up to you. If you made your letter 3D and you got rid of your vanishing point, you want to color certain parts certain colors. So think of it as the sun is shining on a certain part, and color all the lightest parts that color. So I used orange to color all the flat sides that were on the right hand side. You use the darker color for the shadows underneath the E. You can leave your letter just like this, or if you want to, you can Sharpie it for a bold look. It's up to you. I decided to add a new color to the top of the E, just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. If you're leaving your awesome perspective lines, there's two different ways you can color it. The first way is to color in the lines every other one dark, light, or the opposite. This helps distinguish the lines and give it some definition. The second way is to shade it in just like we did our op art project, dark to light. I can't wait to see your 1-point perspective project. These are so much fun to make and they always look so cool when they're done. And the middle school will be really impressed that you know this skill.